Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is AHMAD, Azdee ZAEEMI bin Ahmad Najib. Today, I'd like to present on my research report with the title of The Determinants of Capital Structure. Let's get started. Okay, here is the table of contents that will be present on my presentation. First, let's take a look at the introduction. For the background of study, construction sector in Malaysia is in a difficult situation regarding the financial situation where the companies were bankrupt because of debt and capital, which result in the failure of the capital structure. The capital structure of Sharia-compliant construction companies are not significant with the strict limit on their leverage because there is a restriction on every investment that they made due to the Islamic Sharia principle Kahya 2020. Capital structure is the particular combination of debt and equity used by the company to finance its overall operation and growth, which can lead to strong financial and helps it to continue to operate throughout the years. Next, problem statement. Due to the least number of researchers that conducted on the several sectors or industries, the determinant of capital structure still became an issue in Malaysia. Since different industries have different firm characteristics, the finding shows that previous studies are unable to represent the whole determinants of Malaysia companies' capital structure, which make the capital structure determinant factor were limited to specific sectors or industries. Next, research question and objective. In this research, for the research question is what are the determinants of capital structure? For the research objective, to examine the firm level determinants of capital structure. Next, scope of study. The issues of the study are the determinant of capital structure that involve on Sharia-compliant construction sector in public listed companies in Malaysia. The main focus of this research is to examine the influence of capital structure and explore the Sharia-compliant construction sector and the public listed company in Malaysia. There are different levels of leverage across the industries that shows capital structure is the main issue with all the variables that are listed in this research. This study is covering the period in 2020 by using the method of multiple regression analysis to predict the value of variable. Next, limitation of study. The model determines the structure of capital use is not free of problem statistics that may require a larger amount of data and also improvement in the model by using a control variable relevant and proxy firm performance and capital structure which is more precise. The research is limited to specific sector because the study population is focused on Sharia-compliant security companies in the construction sector only. The limited established companies that will have another disadvantage associated with that financing is that its availability is often and mostly limited to established companies. The limitation of the study incorporated the impact of the issues happen domestically and internationally, which is pandemic COVID-19 that happens nowadays. Next, significance of study. To find out if the companies or organization can determine the factors that affect the capital structure. Then, to increase knowledge and expand insights in the field of finance on the influence of independent variable, which is known as IV. After that, to provide relevant information to other future researchers through IV on its impact and its influence on the capital structure. Lastly, to finance the overall operation and growth in particular company, as well as identify the factors that affected the capital structure determination. Next, let's take a look at the literature review. Okay, for underlying theory of study in the capital structure, we have first, pecking order theory. Second, we have trade-off theory. Third, we have bankruptcy theory. Fourth, we have agency theory. Next, review of literature and research hypothesis. Hypothesis in the research is H0. There is no significant relationship between independent variables and leverage. Meanwhile, H alternative, there is a significant relationship between independent variables and leverage. Okay, let's take a look at the firm profitability. Based on POT, it states that there is a negative significant relationship between profitability and leverage. AHMAD 2021. Based on TOT, it states that There is a positive significant relationship between profitability and leverage, Gartner 2016. Next, firm size. Based on the TOT, it states that the firm size have negative significant relationship with leverage on the capital structure, AHMAD and Bukai 2019. Elamir 2020 in his studies found that the size of companies is positively significantly related with the capital structure. Next, firm tangibility. Based on TOT, Tripathi and Azdee 2017 states that the relationship between tangibility and leverage is positively significantly related. According to AHMAD and Sabah 2021, states that the relationship between tangibility and leverage is negatively significantly related. Next, firm liquidity. Based on TOT, it suggests that leverage and liquidity have positive relationship. MD Yusuf, Muhammad Yunus, and MD Supat 2013. Meanwhile, based on the TOT, it states that there is a negative relationship between liquidity and leverage. Sveti and Musa 2012. Based on AT, it states that there is a negative relationship between liquidity and leverage. Myers and Rajan 1998. Then, firm growth opportunity. Based on TOT, there is a significant positive relationship between growth opportunities and leverage. Chang et al. 2009, Geni et al. 2011, Dang et al. 2014, and Andres et al. 2014. Meanwhile, based on AT, there is a negative relationship between leverage and growth opportunity. Myers 1977 and La Roca et al. 2009. Next, firm age. Based on TOT, there is a negative relationship between firm age and leverage. Vijaya Kumaran 2018, El Mahgot 2021, and Ahmed et al. 2019. Next, we will look at the data and method. For the data collection, the sample consists of public listed companies on Bursa Malaysia based on the construction sector that were on the Sharia compliant list in 2020. Type of analysis that are conducted are cross-sectional analysis, which looks at the data collected at single point in time rather than over a period of time. The database contains the list of company securities that are under the construction sector with Sharia compliant sources from the Sharia Advisory Council. There were a total of 689 listed companies in the SAC in the 2019. Next, sample selection. The research population is the Sharia compliant securities, which is under the sector of construction. The number of population of the public listed companies are 52 companies as at November 2020. In this research, the number of population for public listed companies in the Bursa Malaysia that can be referred based on the table of sample size given are 46 listed construction public companies in the Bursa Malaysia. Next, method of analysis. Okay, this is the measurement of variables for the independent variables. Next, research framework. On the left side, this is the independent variables. Meanwhile, on the right side, this is the dependent variables. Next, regression analysis. The research used in the data analysis is multiple linear regression analysis method. It is a set of statistical process to evaluate the relationship between DV and IV. It also is a statistical technique that uses several explanatory variables to predict the outcome of a response variable. Next, we will look at the finding and analysis. Okay, this is the table that shows the result of multiple regression of the LS least squares. Next, for the F statistic, p-value of the F statistic is significant at significant level of p under 0.1. It indicates that the research model is accepted. For adjusted R squared, it indicates that profitability, firm size, tangibility, liquidity, growth, and firm age can explain 28.66% of the leverage. Meanwhile, for the remaining of 71.24%, it can be explained by other independent variables. Next, for firm profitability, the p-value of profitability is found to be insignificant. As such, H null is failed to be rejected. It indicates that profitability and leverage is not significantly related. Regression result shows that profitability is not the factor that determines capital structure. The result is consistent with the POT, where in order to finance the capital expenditure, the funding sources that come from within the company in the form of retained earning is to be preferred to be used frequently by the companies. Next, firm size. The p-value of firm size found to be significant at a significant level p under 0.1. As such, H now is to be rejected. It indicates that a firm size and leverage are positively significantly related. The empirical findings supported the hypothesis that the firm size is significantly related with the leverage. The findings are consistent with the studies and research from Bolarinwa, 2020, Kumar et al. 2017, Frank et al. 2020, and Awad and Bukair 2019, and Kahya 2020. Next, firm tangibility. The p-value of tangibility is found to be insignificant. As such, H now is failed to be rejected. It indicates that tangibility and leverage is not significantly related. This is because the regression result indicates that tangibility is not significantly related to leverage. In the analysis of the regression result shows that the variable is not one of the factors that can determine capital structure. Next, firm liquidity. The p-value of liquidity and leverage are negatively related, and p-value of liquidity is found to be significant at a significant level p under 0.1. As such, H now is to be rejected. It indicates that liquidity and leverage are negatively significantly related. The findings are consistent with studies of Sbeti and Musa 2012, Camry and Nobith 2018, and Oskan 2001. Next, firm growth opportunity. The p-value of growth opportunity is found to be insignificant. As such, H now is failed to be rejected. It indicates that growth opportunity and leverage is not significantly related. The insignificance of the IV shows that growth opportunity is not the factor that can determine the capital structure. Next, firm H. The p-value of H and leverage is found to be insignificant. As such, H now is failed to be rejected. It indicates that a firm H and leverage is not significantly related. Regression results indicate that firm H is not the factor that influences the capital structure. The insignificance of the IV shows that firm H is not the factor that can determine the capital structure. The finding is consistent with empirical research by Al-Mahdoub 2021, Vijaya Kumaran 2018, and AHMAD et al. 2010. Next, regression model. 1% increase in size indicates that leverage will increase by 0.084%. And 1% increase in liquidity indicates that leverage will decrease by 0.077%. Next, we will look at the conclusion and recommendation. For the conclusion, the study selected 46 companies with panel data which cover the latest period of years. While using eView 11 software, the data is analyzed under method least squares. The firm-related characteristics such as profitability, firm size, tangibility, liquidity, growth opportunity, and firm age are important in determinants of capital structure. Firm size and liquidity are significantly positive with the leverage. Meanwhile, the other variables such as profitability, tangibility, growth opportunity, and firm age are insignificantly related to the leverage. All the relationships are considerable indicate that the POT, and AT are appropriate with the domestic and international firms. Last but not least, the recommendation. Future researchers need to enhance and develop more IV such as board of director size, long-term, and short-term debt which can identify the capital structure. The sample study needs to be extra firm and in a long-term period, especially on the database, so that future researchers could investigate more by using larger data sample. The different finding methods such as questionnaires and articles regarding the companies can be used by the future researchers to make new and important breakthrough in the study. Also, it is recommended to find a deeper investigation regarding the topic of capital structure within the Sharia corporate companies, as it will bring more information regarding it. And that's all for me. Thank you.